Hello, this is Harvey here, the What About Cynics podcast, with my friend Aaron,
Hello.
my acquaintance Simon. Today we'll be discussing some sexy Star Trek, David S. Goyer, and the Return of the Clerks, the animated series,
Woo.
the cartoon, and 3. And maybe even we'll be talking about the new Wii U advertising campaign, which is shit.
Yeah.
Alright,
Start off.
so I've got a list because that's how we have conversations nowadays with lists. Um, there's one called Tumblr Swimming Anime. What the fuck? What the fuck is that news? What the fuck is that?
Well, something.
Oh, that's funny that you should bring that up, Billy Bob.
Thank
We were
you.
planning on talking about that today.
It's a strange paradigm has emerged in culture where
Mhm.
a group of kind of women on Tumblr found this 30-second promotion that an animation studio did that they never planned to make into anything. And like over a month or so, they grew so steadily obsessed with it
Yeah.
that the animation studio has now decided to make it into an anime because they know they can make so much money off of it. So purely by wanting something to exist, did they make it exist? And
If
so,
only that existed in real life. Well, it sort of does,
well,
as you just said.
well, the other thing is that this anime is entirely based around a gay swimming team,
Hmm.
and
Now, has it been stated that they're gay?
yes,
Oh, okay.
I think it's all yaoi as far as I'm aware.
Is it going to be actually interesting with any characters and drama, or is it just going to be they are a gay swimming team and be completely going off its concept alone? Because
Well,
that's not
Well,
much of a
it's
concept.
really hard to say because it's being made by KyoAni, who are famous for such genre-defying works as K-On! And then the sequel to K-On!, which was K-On! With 2 exclamation points at the end rather than 1. Um,
What is chaos?
it's not looking
uh,
good.
It's a really shit anime about 5 high school girls who form a music band, and I'm guessing it's going to have the same sort of same-sex relationship fueled uh, fan bait in the Tumblr swimming anime, which is called Free. Um,
Are they actually gonna
With one
fuck?
exclamation,
Sankaku
with one
Complex, which is
exclamation mark.
my favorite, completely unbiased, non-racist website for news like this, has named director a raging Fujoshi.
I don't know what that
Which
means.
Yeah, what's a Fujoshi?
Just say the word. Just say the word.
well,
I
there,
guess
there isn't
that's a
really
quote.
there
That's a
isn't really
quote.
an English word that sums up the paradigm that we're talking about. It's like I guess I mean kind of what the people on Tumblr who have been promoting this shit are. They're just sort of yaoi fans.
I don't know what that means. What's yaoi?
Gay.
Yeah, gay. All right, go on. Then.
Yeah.
Just say gay.
No, because
No,
this
it's a
is
genre.
this is
It's a
literally.
genre of gay.
I mean, I
It's a
don't
type
accept.
of gay.
Then again, I might not only even not accept Fujiko or whatever because I don't know what it means. But
But
Yeah,
the thing
go.
about KyoAni is that they're usually really good at predicting what the sort of anime viewing, the viewership is going to want before they know they want it, and they basically they invigorated the sort of generic slice of life moe scene, and they must have known that there were enough like
Gay
lonely
swimmers.
women and
Oh,
gay
sorry.
men to indulge in this sort of gay swimmer kind of uh, format.
If it's
So
is it,
it's surprising that it wasn't intended as an anime.
yeah.
It's surprising that they had to be told that this would sell.
To be honest, I didn't know
truth,
that
I,
market was out there.
no, I don't know. To be fair, I'm almost glad that Tumblr did this because I think it's one of the first noticeable thing where it's just kind of women saying that they just want mindless sex appeal, which is basically what men state all the time.
Yeah, but
So,
it's not the first time. I mean, stuff like this has been around in anime for ages.
well,
So,
yeah,
Aaron,
but
50 Shades of Grey
but
demonstrates that people want mindless.
this is a largely Western audience demanding for it.
I don't think they would do it just for a Western audience because
I'm not gonna buy
they
the
have to
DVDs.
make the thing first and then syndicate it.
True. I know. Well, to be fair, I went a bit exploring into the whole thing, mainly because I was interested, and I like going into Tumblr. It's like exploring the Congo or something weird. It's it's always kind of interesting. But as far as I can see, like, have you seen the 30 seconds?
Yeah, I've seen the 30-second animation that they did, which is pretty good. I
Yeah,
can't
it's
deny it.
pretty.
Yeah, and I saw the trailer for the thing. Something I noticed about the trailer for the thing is that all of the men have women's names, so that probably tells you something about the standard that they're aiming for.
True. One thing I was thinking of actually, because I was looking into it, and like people have different stories for them, and so how are they ever going to appeal to? Because you're going to piss off someone, because these characters have literally been created, or other than what they look like, these characters have been created by a fandom, probably quite messily over the period of a month or so. So I think it's quite a risky thing to try and it'd be like if someone tried to flesh out like your fan fiction or something.
I don't know. I mean, there's an enormous market for this stuff, and they have very low standards because all they really want to do is look at the pretty men having effeminate sexual tension and
And swimming.
and swimming, obviously. Um, but yeah, I mean, I suppose there will be an element of sort of headcanon, but I mean,
You're
most
saying
people.
they won't really care because they're quite base.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that
most
your...
people know that headcanon is headcanon because it's in your head, it's not real.
True, but this is a rare circumstance where the entire thing is based on headcanon, so headcanon becomes slightly more valid, or you'd think it would.
I guess so, but I mean, I really doubt that it's going to have that deep of a sort of character development or plot anyway. So there's probably still going to be plenty of room for like speculation. I mean, some of the things that people say are probably still like they're not going to be proved one way or the other.
True enough, actually, yeah. And I guess especially with kind of like not like kind of I think there's 5 of them, isn't there? That I'm sure they can all get around each other enough in sexual tension that everyone's happy.
Yeah, I mean, overall,
No one's gonna fuck them, are they? It's just gonna be all tension.
There
I
might
think,
be
yeah,
implied. I'm not
imagine.
sure. Yeah, I'm not sure sort of what level they're aiming at because it might be just sort of like I don't know what the masculine
Well,
parallel of
ecchi
moe
is.
is.
Oh, no.
But yeah, it might go for that, or it might sort of be like maybe sort of like barely like half visible penises or something, but you don't see the naughty parts.
By the way, you know that word. What was the Japanese word you used? That guy was quoted as saying.
What Fujoshi?
Yeah, and you said that it doesn't have an equivalent.
Yeah, well, it's
Yes.
hard to sum up in
So, I
English because
mean-
we don't have like the like rampant sexual fandoms in
But
the West like they have over there.
but you know what it means.
Yeah,
But you can't tell us.
Well, no, because
but
there are
this
words.
is a philosophy of language question,
Yeah.
surely.
Because
No, 'cause there are words
to me, you've stated that a man said blah blah blah.
No, because there are words No, don't you have this? There are words that you can't like summarize in the English language. It's a plural.
Yeah, there's
Like
gotta be
there are
an
Danish
equivalent.
words as well.
Like
I mean,
Schadenfreude.
yeah, or like hygge. I mean, there is no equivalent.
Give me a long sentence.
Yeah, I mean the people who are interested in the unfolding of this swimming anime's development are probably the people who know what the words I'm using mean. So apologies to everyone else.
They're not listening.
Really, I'm not even sure because I thought like I got the opinion that quite a lot of the people who like this were kind of first time into anime as well. Like kind
I
of
don't know, maybe.
But no, obviously there's probably a group of kind of controlling anime freaks at the top.
Yeah, I
guiding
mean,
everything.
what's in my mind
Like
is the
Nazi.
Japanese audience rather than the Western audience, and obviously we can't really tap into what the Japanese audience is thinking because we don't read Japanese.
Sure.
But yeah, I think the Japanese audience for this is going to consist of a lot of seasoned and maybe a few new anime viewers, but it very much plays into the existing tropes in sort of female audience oriented anime.
Sure. Well, I think it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting that it's come around if nothing else. I mean, because I don't really think I could ever see it happening like in other genres either. Then again, I guess anime is one of the few places where they just like to, other than kind of 3D animation, where they just like to display how pretty something they've made is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, overall, I think it's pretty cool that they're making it just because it looks like it will be a nice piece of animation. And even though it's contributing to the ongoing deterioration of anime as a medium, at least it's appealing to a slightly different demographic to usual. So
Yeah, I agree. I think it's nice. I think, yeah, if nothing else, like I said, I like it because of the kind of sexuality aspect of it. I like the fact that women demanded meat and they got meat. It's one of the few things I
yeah.
think Tumblr's good for.
What
Yeah,
meat distribution?
Tumblr is good as a meat distribution platform.
Fucking Rupture Farms.
So from a good thing, or a morally good, a less grey thing Tumblr did, to Dragon Crown and the ensuing shitstorm that followed about that.
Dragon Crown, the stew of pointless, misdirected controversy.
Is this the thing about? Is this thing Simon you showed me with the lady with the big breasts?
Yes,
Yep.
It's a lady with the big breasts.
Ah,
And
okay.
for some reason, ladies with big breasts are big news now in the gaming industry.
Despite the fact they're everywhere.
I don't understand this.
Well-
Oh, and they jiggle. That's the worst part. They
Yeah.
jiggle.
breasts
when they
breasts do
animate.
jiggle. Breasts do
Yeah,
jiggle.
yeah, I know.
You ever seen? If you see a breast that doesn't jiggle, it's fake. Now, what do you want? Do you want fake or real? Because I want real.
Yeah, I mean,
want real
to be
life.
fair, Dragon Crown is promoting positive,
Natural
natural body
beauty.
image.
That is not a natural body image.
It
Well,
could
it is
be.
if you have enormous tits and
Have you
enormous
seen?
ass,
I've seen people
which
with
some
tits
people
that
do.
big.
People with tits people with tits and ass that big with hips that small cannot walk. They
They don't.
crawl.
Jake,
They
they
But
don't need to, Eric.
she has magic. She's a
There we go.
sorceress.
But the thing I've never understood about this is that, right? So, women like women like looking at attractive men too. It's like Nathan Drake or someone. Nathan Drake is designed
Yeah,
to
Nathan
be almost
Drake
the perfect guy.
is a dream hunk.
It's just the thing is because I was telling Simon this the other day that like the only reason like men just like big breasts, and it just so happens that breasts are hanging off them. Like if women didn't have breasts, they would still just look like basically normally proportioned. They just have like nice hips and like a nice ass and stuff. But like so what you get is so as soon as you got something hanging off you and men like it big, it's gonna look ridiculous. It's gonna look like a big thing hanging off, so it's more noticeable to complain about. Whereas Nathan Drake, it just so happens that the optimum man is something that's quite like toned and sort of structured. Whereas
yeah,
if
it's
men,
musculature.
if women like massive like cocks being bigger because the bigger a tit is, the nicer it is. The bigger a cock is, the bigger it is. Imagine that cock was in the middle of your chest. Soon, like big cocks would be like coming off the side of people's chests. And people would be like, "Oh my god, this is recognizable. I'm seeing this. It's right in my face." And I think that's what the equivalent of the tit is. It just so happens that men don't have any dangly bits, and no one complains when Nathan Drake is ridiculously attractive. They do complain when the lady is ridiculously
You're
attractive.
absolutely
Yeah,
right.
I think you're onto something as well. Because I was thinking about this the other day as well, and I think the other thing is like when you look at Nathan Drake, then because he still looks normal and even attractive, then
Yeah.
there's still an aspect of that kind of not wanting to be him, but you can still play at him and be like, yeah, this is him.
I'd look like Nathan
Like,
Drake.
yeah, exactly. That's the thing. But like when a woman sees a female protagonist who looks like the massive meat tits, then they don't want to play as that. And so I think that's where the issue gets exacerbated slightly.
I don't want to play as meat tits either, but it doesn't annoy me. It's like, yeah, I know that people like looking at meat tits. So let the people eat meat tits.
Well, I mean,
To quote
Yeah, and
Maria
I mean,
Antoinette.
anyone who doesn't want to play with meat tits, the game isn't for you. The game is for people who want to play with meat tits.
well, this is,
Clearly.
well, this is the other thing because there's like 5 or 6 playable characters, and you saw the men. I think Harvey's seen the men, but the men are as ridiculous.
Yeah, the men are really ridiculously drawn, but
this
that's
is an
what's
art-
cool about it.
This is
'Cause
this is an art style. This isn't like
Yeah, I mean,
oppression.
like I'm like obviously the women folk, no, not the women folk, the feminists, they'll go all up in arms saying like, oh, the men, they're a male power fantasy. But I mean, yeah, maybe in the case of Dragon's Crown art design, the men do have ridiculous muscles which aren't really aesthetically pleasing to anyone other than adolescent men who want to emulate them. but like just in general, in principle, the art style is just really exaggerated features, which is fine. It's a direction that the artist has chosen to take.
I mean, if that turned up in like Nolan's Batman, like if Catwoman came out and like she had tits were just dragging and jiggling along the floor, and Nolan had spent like 300 million of the budget getting them to jiggle constantly, then everyone would be like, "This is fucking stupid. Why is this in this?" But I agree. If everyone's looking insane, then who cares? Because
Yeah.
you know, if you go to fucking Crazy Town, expect crazy people.
Well, this is the other thing, because like the guy who made it, I can't remember. He's called like I'm not going to mispronounce it, like Kumaki or something. Like he said that even apparently the monsters look ridiculous, and it's all
They're
part
big-
of a world. But this annoyingly, this was in his apology, which I don't think he should have done.
Oh yeah, I had a look at his inverted
Was his
commas
apology? I'm sorry you're offended, but
it was a really backhanded apology. Yeah, it was like I'm sorry that you don't get my light-hearted fantasy style sort of thing. So yeah, not a real apology. I think the fact that he's just given a complete like non-apology kind of.
no, he reacted to it. He just
But yeah,
didn't
this is the
ignore
thing.
it.
I mean, like I said, I
think
think,
reacting's
he
fine.
validated it because you know now all these. Not to.
But he
I
validated
mean,
it by basically saying "fuck you" to it.
well, yeah, but I don't like to typify them as much as you do. But these feminists are going to see that as some sort of victory.
I don't know. I don't know if they will.
Yeah,
Either way,
but who
if
cares?
there are any
who
feminists
cares
listening, please stop trying to censor shit. Thank you.
Yeah, but I mean, but it doesn't matter if somebody comes across with a victory who, you know, it doesn't like their opinion does not matter currently. Like,
But they'll try
Let me
again.
see.
They'll think they've succeeded.
it's sort of like it's equivalent if you're having an argument with someone who sort of believes in creationism. And you would argue, and they'd say, how do you explain this? And you'd say, well, it's this, and then you get to like, well, how did life start? And you'd say, I don't know. Then they'd go like, aha, see, and that's sort of like the equivalent of what this is. Yeah,
I don't
it
want
annoys
that to
me, but
happen. I don't
it's
want
the
that to
point where you got to
happen.
be like, oh, I don't give a shit. You have your victory because it doesn't matter. So I mean, you know, I don't think being worried that they think they've won matters because at the end of the day, they're not really like. They're not confronting the arguments at all. They're just being offended.
Well, this is appeasement. This is exactly what happened with Hitler. You wait.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's particularly feminists who are creating a problem here. It's just a particular ideology within feminism which makes people really offended by shit that is just not orientated towards them.
Yeah, well, they just can't see how there's like with the Nathan Drake thing, there's two sides to it, and also they don't see it in the context that it is. Yeah, it's a complete fantasy. Well,
yeah,
it's like getting angry at porn
because
it's unrealistic sex. It makes no sense. We're trying to fantasize.
The other interesting thing was the Dragon Crowns guy said he drew it to stand out, which he's definitely done. I mean, none of us have heard of Dragon Crowns until this came along.
Yeah, it's been a great marketing stunt because you know all the people who are watching and going, oh yeah, this is terrible, but secretly they want the dragon tits and they're probably going to get that game.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, we even know their names, you know, well, I say names, we know their titles, etc. We know the basis of the story, and yeah, and now we're talking about it on a podcast. So
the only details I've heard are dragon tits. I don't know anything
and you'd buy a game based on that, so...
yeah.
I know, I'm joking.
Maybe you would, you sicko, Aaron.
No,
I don't agree with your new ways.
Well, sex sells, and no one knows that better than J.J. Abrams.
There we go.
Nice segue.
Yeah, sexy Star Trek, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, on the list we've got written sexy Star Trek.
There's so many things I don't understand. I usually understand the list. I don't understand the list this week. I'm scared, Aaron.
This week is a strange week, because I think it's a good week conversation-wise, but there's some weird ones. Like, J.J. Abrams made a statement that Star Trek Into Darkness, it's coming out, I think, next month.
It's getting alright reviews.
Is gonna be more sexy and more action-packed.
He said that?
Yeah.
Fuck! When has anyone ever given a shit about that in a Star Trek thing?
Yeah, it's not like...
Picard, he's way sexy. If anything, Star Trek got progressively less sexy since the original series.
Well, Star Trek isn't sexy.
Kirk was trying to be sexy. Like she said, you get like this weird alien that would be like, why don't you show me your human ways. And Kirk's like, yes, maybe. And then it's like he kisses her. Like, and now Picard, I've never seen Picard. Picard is so sexy that he just hates children in the first season and tries to slightly fuck Wesley, like Dr. Crusher, and it's really horrible.
Wesley. That'd have been dark.
That would have been an amazing show.
But no, I agree. I mean, Star Trek post the original series is the most
children, but now I love them.
the most kind of sexless thing ever.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he thought, because that's obviously meant to appeal to kind of, I'm gonna use stupid terminology again, but just like kind of jockish moviegoers. It's like it's Star Trek, but it's hot. Trust me.
It's Star Trek.
It's got sexy and action and sexy action.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, who says that outside of like Fox, like the Fox advertising department?
Yeah, I don't really go to the cinema for sexy things.
It's like Star Trek now, 100% more sexy.
I go for action. If he said it's more action packed, I'd be like, okay, JJ, I don't like the direction you've taken Star Trek in, but fine, because Star Trek died like ages ago, so it's okay. But the fact he's added in sexy, like I don't want to imagine JJ getting like turned on while making the film. That's just weird to me.
Yeah, and I mean,
then this is a man we're
woman...
supposed to take seriously as like a good filmmaker, and then he's like, oh, it's sexy. It's like, oh, fuck off.
And the only woman is basically Uhura at this point. So it's basically, Uhura takes her shirt off and probably sleeps with Spock and Kirk again.
Oh, at the same time.
Exacerbate tensions.
Well, he already did Green Alien. Alien Babe. So yeah, why not just... Oh, God.
It makes no sense. And it's just... And why is Uhura the third main character now? Like, you guys have... I mean, I still haven't seen it, like, the first time.
But Bo is
haven't
the
seen
main
it.
character. I don't think... No, Scotty's the third main character. I don't think Uhura's big at all. I don't think any of them are, the other ones.
Scotty doesn't come into it until like quarters of the way through.
Yeah, but then
I've
he
got
runs
the
around
DVD
making...
cover here, alright? And on the front of the DVD cover is, is Kirk, Spock, and Uhura.
Yeah, but come on, that's his pretty lady on the front.
Yeah, you gotta have the token woman.
Well,
Yeah,
no, but you know what the Star Trek covers have on them? They have Kirk, Spock, and McCoy, and that's sold. And McCoy's an ugly motherfucker.
Was this in the original series?
Yeah.
You remember they didn't like Uhura because she was black. Like,
well,
the producers hated Uhura in the original one. Remember, Kirk had to fuck up one of the shots just so he could get the scene of him and Uhura kissing.
Well,
it's the sexual equivalent.
You
Because
can't just say-
Because she was black. That's how much they hated her. They went, right, McCoy is sexier than
no,
Uhura
McCoy
right
was
now.
a good character. They were the power team. Like, you
It was.
don't devaluate McCoy
No,
because the
I'm not
producers are
devaluing
racist.
McCoy. I'm just saying that now, even if McCoy was was really important, they'd still put Zoe Saldana on the cover because she's sexy. And J.J. Abrams has already stated what this movie is. It's a sexy action film.
Sexy, it's fucking He's just trying to draw in the Avatar crowd. That's what he's doing. He's just like, I want everyone who saw Avatar to go see this.
Yes. He's amazing. I don't really get what J.J.
Shameless.
Abrams is. He is shameless. I don't get what he is. Is he
fucking money maker?
Yeah, I know. Like
He's a shill.
he is. Yeah,
He's a Fajiko or whatever it was. That
Is it-
word.
No, he's not.
He's a fucking cunt. Is what J.J. Abrams is. He presents himself as some sort of, I'm such a great filmmaker, and I have deep characters, and then you see him for what he really is.
Look at me rip off 80 Spielberg movies.
Exactly, some four-eyed, dirty fuck. Who, for some reason, I don't know.
He should never have been given Star Trek. Like, I'm even willing to admit that he can have Star Wars.
He can have Star Wars. Fuck.
But
Star Wars.
I mean, I don't know what he's doing with Star Trek. Mainly because I'm not watching it, but equally just from hearing about it, and I got no idea what he's doing.
You never saw the first one, did you?
No, I'm gonna. Like I said, I accidentally bought it for a penny, so I guess I'll watch it.
I think if I had one criticism of the original Star Trek, of the first film, I don't think it's sexy enough.
Well, my friend, have I got a deal for you?
Oh, is it worth more than a penny, or will the cost be your very fucking soul?
Star Trek now with 50 times more sexy, which is still zero because Star Trek was never sexy. Actually, well, no, like you said, the original series was sexy, and I guess this is they're supposed to be the same characters of the original series. I'm not sure if they are, but they should be.
I mean, yeah. Do we have much more to talk about, or is it just?
I don't know.
Well,
Well, we-
I
J.J.
had a good
Abrams?
look at the
Go on.
the new trailer this week
Yeah.
when we went to see Iron Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to discuss Iron Man 3, by the way?
Oh, we can do. That can go
Aaron,
next to Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. if you want.
Do you
I
wanna-
think we need a review of Iron Man 3.
Okay.
But yeah, looking at the trailer for new Star Trek, it looks kind of shit. Like it looks like the dialogue in the trailer is completely disjointed. No one says anything meaning anything. It's just all sort of like hollow
Really?
battle cries and meaningless rhetoric,
Also, have you
No,
seen
and then
exactly.
explosions.
Have you
Yeah, I
seen
know
the
you just
promotional
summed up a
trailer
J.J.
stuff for it?
Abrams film. No.
Like
What was
the
it?
promotional stuff says pick a side or like choose a side or something, and it's like I thought the idea was that Benedict Cumberbatch was just trying to destroy the Earth. There's no side to pick.
Yeah, exactly.
I
think
like
it's
the side of Earth.
yeah, I believe he's just a very angry terrorist.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was just
character.
supposed to be like a Khan ripoff. So
Oh, I don't. Yeah,
what?
I was reading like stuff about it because I stopped giving a shit about spoilers.
Hmm.
I want to watch it with you because I think you and I will be pissed off. But this is spoilers, so
Okay, so skip ahead if you want
yeah,
to.
skip ahead. But no, I'm not gonna say anymore.
Are you not? So don't find.
Okay,
skip
no,
ahead.
I'll say spoilers. Skip
Yeah.
ahead like a minute, but from what I've heard, he is Khan.
Oh,
They did
Okay.
they did exactly what they said they weren't gonna. What they were keeping it a secret, and then what they seem to have done is the most boring outcome they could have done, and the thing that we all knew they were going to do, and just remade the second one. And for some in the trailer, I've even seen a scene where Kirk has the ability to either save Spock or not. So, and I assume Spock's not going to sacrifice himself because J.J. Abrams wasn't brave enough to do that.
well, they're
But-
just remaking the.
Yeah,
Actually,
they seem
yeah.
they seem to be making a shitty version of Wrath of Khan. Which
Hmm.
they even there's even a scene where apparently they deal with the Prime Directive, but as Simon's already said, it's just meaningless sort of.
This just
Fucking
nostalgia
random
throwback
lines.
at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it'll just
They
be
don't
like
ever
one of,
actually discuss
one of
Prime
the
Directive.
lawful neutral characters goes, "We must obey the Prime Directive," and then one of the chaotic good characters will go, "No, screw the Prime Directive. We have to help these people."
And then
Well, this
fucking
is the
Chris
shit
Pine as
thing.
Kirk runs in and goes, "What'd be the fun in that?" And just fucking blows up the whole planet. And goes, because that's
This
all fucking Chris Pine does. Just tries to. Doesn't he says punch it. Whenever, fucking hell! What is he? What the fuck is
That's
he?
the wrong fucking franchise as well.
He says punch it.
Yeah,
The
that's
last
Han
time I heard
Solo.
punch it was in Small Soldiers. I don't know who says punch it.
Han Solo.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
this is complete bullshit. Like what?
Oh
But
god,
no,
but
This is the thing, because like you said, like with the Prime Directive and things like hyperdrive and like not hyperdrive, that's you know what I mean, like kind of warp and etc. Like none of these, like all of these things in the series were explored, but in this thing they seem to like just be like hollow throwbacks to an age, so people can remember they can still be classed as Star Trek.
yeah,
Yeah, I think
I
they are
remember.
just throwbacks.
I remember a Next Generation episode where they genuinely discussed whether or not they should break the Prime Directive, and then when they did, by accident, they had a long discussion with the planet people about why they'd done it, and it wasn't like action packed or sexy, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
And apparently J.J. Abrams is so good and so concise that he can take a 40-minute episode and whack it down to a minute scene with just Kirk going, and that's basically it.
Like it's just I mean, there's no ideas behind this anymore. This
no.
is this is why I didn't watch the first one.
Fair
Well, the
enough.
first one's okay.
The first one's okay, but it's not a Star Trek movie.
I guess he didn't promise sexy in the first one.
He-
Then again, it sounds like there was a bunch of like Uhura got shot off a bunch of times, didn't she? So I guess that counts as sexy.
Well, the problem was he delivers like hard-hitting, like quick bits of emotion and like scenes which make you think you're watching something that is more poignant and better than it actually is, which is a shame because most people will just think it's brilliant and it could have been so much better.
Yeah, well, this is the thing because I bet a lot of people are going to walk out of Star Trek Into Darkness really liking it,
Exactly.
including some people I might have once called friends.
Which they might like it and it might be fine. It's just if it wasn't Star Trek, if it was called like Star Journey, and it was that, I'd be like, oh, that's not right action.
We wouldn't sell $1 billion in nostalgia. This is the weird thing, because
Yeah.
surely anyone who's got nostalgia for Star Trek won't like this or won't watch. I don't think it's if they don't like
Well,
it, they've
we're
already paid
watching
to
it.
see it.
No.
Yeah, actually, we're watching it just because it's called Star Trek. Yeah, you're right. It's a brilliant marketing scheme.
A perfect ruse.
Yeah. Oh
I
well.
think we've been talking about Star Trek
Yeah.
for too long.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's
fair
move
enough.
on to David S. Goya.
Yeah, let's.
Woo!
Well, I mean, we talked about a lot of sexy stuff, so let's get off that by talking about fucking Wonder Woman. Jesus Christ, Aaron.
Wonder
What's your problem?
Woman.
Go on. What do you want to talk about?
So
Wonder Woman?
David S. Goya was doing I think it was one of those AMA things on Reddit, but it might have just been a generic question and answer session. And he said that I think either in talks or that he's expressed interest to DC about directing and writing one or the other or both the Wonder Woman movie.
I think
And
they're going to let him because they need the money.
yeah, and they need a Wonder Woman character, and they need a Wonder Woman character that works for that Justice League movie they're trying really hard to make but can't quite get right. But yeah, I think this is kind of interesting. I mean, especially if the Nolan verse is going to be the Justice League verse, then you've got like one of them, the Nolan verse's three pillars writing Wonder Woman, which I guess will at least give some cohesion to this horrible Justice League universe. But like David S. Goya knows comics, he's not a douche when it comes to women, and regardless of what you can say, I think he can actually write. And so
No, you can. I'm joking.
and so I think that it's probably the most promising thing we've had in Wonder Woman since the TV show that wasn't the TV show that failed epically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, has there ever been a Wonder Woman movie?
No, they've tried and
Damn.
they've tried. But that's the other thing, because that's one of the probably the biggest threats to this is that DC don't think stuff aimed at women will sell, which I think is retarded given that we've just come out of 5 years of Twilight-based oppression. We know things directed at women will sell.
Is Wonder Woman even really directed at women? Because
Women love. Well, I know some women. No, as far like nearly all the women I know like Wonder Woman, but yeah, equally Wonder Woman is a hot girl who beats up people, so she's still based at men. Like Xena, she's
don't
based
know,
at
because
men.
I mean the themes involved are just pretty androgynous sort of themes. Like anyone could enjoy the Wonder Woman franchise, regardless of what gender they have.
As long as it's well written. Like anyone could enjoy the swimming anime if it's well written, which it won't be.
True.
So I don't know much about Wonder Woman. What's she like? Because I
Wonder Woman-
just see attractive lady with a whip. And by attractive, I just mean hot pants because I don't actually think she's that attractive.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Wonder Woman is. Do you mean like backstory wise?
Well, just character. Is she dutiful?
Okay.
Is she...
Yeah, I mean, she's princess of the Queen of the Amazon. She's the daughter of the Queen of the Amazon, so she's the princess. She goes to the human because they close themselves off because they don't trust men. So quite a lot of it is about I guess you could get quite a lot of misandry and stuff in there. Maybe you could actually deal with some themes in this if they tried.
Sorry,
But-
I'm just imagining him like her as part of the Nolan universe. That sounds hilarious.
Well, I think in the Nolan universe you'd definitely have trousers, probably like a kind of little
Exactly.
suit or something.
She'd be wearing a suit, and she wouldn't be Queen of the Amazon. She'd
No.
be from like Brooklyn.
She'd be like CEO of Amazon
Exactly.
Inc. But, like,
She'd be from the
yeah.
urban jungle.
But
Go on.
I mean, yeah, she's got the lasso of truth. I mean, the reason she's dressed like that is because it's based off the American flag, which is the Amazons kind of like because they did it so she'd fit in. But obviously, the joke is that no one dresses like that. But
Oh, sorry.
there's I mean, like because I guess you guys know about things like the stupid ideas like the invisible jet and stuff like that. The lasso of truth.
I think I know about the Invisible Jet from that one animation series that got made by I think it was Studio B.
Oh yeah. Well, either way, like Wonder Woman, but back when Wonder Woman didn't really have any powers except being, because that's the thing, her entire thing is based in kind of like Greek mythology. Like her dad is, this is spoiler. If you're reading the Wonder Woman comics like I am, then this is like spoilers from issue 8. But her dad is Zeus, and so
Oh my god.
like yeah, oh my god, I know, right? Because but like so and like she hangs around with people like Poseidon, Hades, that kind of. She's very rooted in kind of mythology, and so that aspect might be pretty hard to. Then again, fuck it, they did it in 4. I mean, they did it with 4 in the Avengers, so they can. If they don't, then again, I guess Nolan probably will think, oh, I can't deal with Greek gods with my precious Christian Bale. It might scratch his realism.
In all fairness,
No
I
way
don't know.
that can
I
go
don't
in
know
the
why they're
universe.
going down the Batman, Christopher Nolan route. I think it'd be so
Because they need-
awkwardly
because
worked.
they-
Well, I know why they're doing it, but it'll be so
Yeah.
awkwardly worked it in. And also, I don't know. In some ways, it might just shit on the original trilogy a bit because like a lot of it won't make any sense now. Because
Well,
we
they're
were noticing
purely-
this
they're
was
purely
one
moving in
problem.
desperation.
This
at
is one
point.
problem with Iron Man 3, which we're going to work out. But like, it's the idea that as soon as you have a shared universe and you relate that back to a film, it's like none of this works now.
Well, I see you say that, but it works in comic books, and I think it works.
No, I mean it doesn't work in Iron Man because anytime he's having a problem, there's no.
Well, maybe the Hulk. The Hulk's not angry. Captain America's off doing Captain America 2 stuff.
See,
Thor's
well,
gone back to his planet.
I think you need
Hawkeye's a gimp.
I think you need references to that. They didn't even reference it.
Fair enough. Well, I don't.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I think it's
I've been
just
desensitized from years of Batman existing in the same universe as Superman, so
it's
he never helps him out, like
No.
ever. Except
But,
in Dark Knight, actually. The Dark Knight. Sorry, he comes to that.
I don't think they're going to be able to weave the sort of they're going to have to severely modify Wonder Woman to make it viable in the Nolanverse because the Nolanverse is so explicitly like grittily realistic and I mean Nolan did a lot of thinking outside the box to make his world realistic but also true to the ideas in the comic books. But without Nolan working on it, then I doubt they're going to attain the same standard in Wonder Woman.
We got
Well,
David Escobar
this-
working on it.
This
so-
is the thing. I mean, because like, if Man of Steel is genuinely going to be part of the Nolanverse, then already the entire idea is shattered because he is an alien. I mean, I guess you can explain it with science, which Superman already largely is. But you know what I mean, like pure science. But yeah, Wonder Woman is entirely magical.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
Man of Steel, I think, could still work because
It's an alien that works.
I mean, it could happen like, I mean, yeah, because it's just that he's just one powerful entity. He doesn't bring with him like a whole load of mythological baggage.
Oh, I see. Like, yeah, Poseidon and stuff that have existed since Greek times, and yet went really
Yeah.
quiet in
Yeah,
like,
no
the Dark
no
Ages.
magic items.
Yeah, true. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess you might just make her another alien, like a couple of the like I don't approve of this, but some of the other Outer comics have. I don't know. Yeah, well, they're like, yeah. Well, I think this is possibly. I mean, obviously, the main reasons are kind of that Wonder Woman is a hard character to do. I think, and he agrees. Actually, David Escobar says it's a hard character. So I don't know. I mean, I hope he does it. If nothing else, then I don't want to spend the entire of that Justice League movie just introducing everyone who's not Batman and Superman, because that would be tedious.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that the DC Justice League hasn't been built up well enough.
No, they're
prepare.
just desperately like they're just trying to finish.
Oh, yeah.
They're just trying to like run a race really quickly that they've already lost.
Well, I mean, it seems like, to be honest, like the Avengers. I think I could have gone into the Avengers movie having not seen any of the previous films.
Yeah.
You don't really need that much setup. So I think, yeah, if they just, I don't know why they're trying to connect to the other films. They could probably just reboot it and just have it work quite well. Because
And
the
I
Avengers, the Avengers, like I didn't understand Captain America anymore. I just knew, oh, this is a man with some superpowers from the 50s.
But on the other hand, you have to build up people's sort of loyalties to the characters, and you have to like.
Oh,
'cause
that's true.
people enjoy like watching Thor in the Avengers more because they've seen Thor the movie, and they go, "Oh, Thor! I really liked the movie he was in, so he must be good. Put him on the screen more." And the same with all the other characters. Whereas if you're introducing them impromptu, then people just go, "Oh, who's this? I don't know this thing. This isn't familiar."
Take some time.
I do think that the Justice League movie, if it was just done from scratch with like a new Batman and maybe a new Superman, but maybe have the Man of Steel, like it all really depends on how good Man of Steel is, I guess. But I think that the Justice League movie, if it did introduce a Batman from scratch, that Batman would probably be the best Batman that we've had in terms of kind of movie-going universe, or the most true to the comics, I suppose, rather than the best, because obviously everyone likes Christian Bale.
Yeah, no,
No one's-
I'd go for the close to the comics one because it's sort of it's work. Like I think like Arkham Asylum,
Yeah.
stuff like
Just put that guy. I mean, you know,
that had gritty and kind of comic-y.
But
That was
wait,
sort of-
wouldn't it be Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
No,
Oh, God.
they're
No,
not in
it'd be
discussions. I've read they're
Christian
not in
Bale.
discussions with
yeah.
them. And Christian Bale won't do it.
Will he not? I thought you'd
Well,
But
agreed.
isn't Bale Batman retired?
Nah.
I don't think Bale would.
We need you for one last job.
Then again, he did Terminator, so I don't know what Bale wants anymore.
Money.
I
Actually,
think he was
not
doing like
even.
an independent Chinese film a while ago, or Korean. It was a Korean film. So I don't know what
Well, that's
Bale
pretty
wants
fucked
anymore.
up.
I think if DC are willing to give enough money that the fucking principled Nolans will do it, then they can give Christian Bale enough money.
True. I don't
Unless
think
they've literally
Nolan.
blown all their money on giving it to Chris.
I don't think Nolan will do it. I don't think Bale
I
will
thought you'd
do it.
already agreed.
Who, Nolan?
I thought the reason we were talking about this is because Nolan's agreed to do it.
No,
Oh, okay.
I haven't heard anything about it. I know he's making Interstellar. I think he's making a movie right now. I don't think he's got time. So but who knows? Who knows? Might be all right.
Zack Snyder is likely to direct Justice League if Man of Steel is a success.
See, then there's that news.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That Nolan was doing it.
No, well, Nolan. Well, I guess if they do that, then Nolan will be the producer again, maybe. I don't
Maybe.
know.
Oh, that would be good.
That maybe, but it depends how good. I mean, it depends if Man of Steel is a success. That's literally what this entire thing is riding on, which is sad because that's not. Avengers never had to ride on anything. We could have, they could have been people could have viewed 4 as universally bad, and they'd have still continued, etc.
Well, I know. Some people didn't like Thor. Some people maybe even hated Thor.
Yeah, I mean, I did hate Thor.
We'll see, but
But,
that did, that wouldn't have crippled the Avengers franchise.
Yeah, for
Hmm.
some reason, my opinion alone was not enough to keep them from putting Thor in that movie.
Yeah, even I guess it was like I must have been like in a sort of sleepwalk when I walked on that film because I didn't really like Thor. I thought Iron Man 2 was shit, and I thought Captain America was quite average. So I just went to go and see that movie on opening day for no reason.
I think this is
Jesus
about
Christ.
time that you moved on to Iron Man 3 because you guys have seen this, I haven't. But
Yeah, I mean,
don't worry about spoiling it too much.
we can
I know
be
that-
quick about Iron Man 3. There's not very much to say about it other than it makes no fucking sense.
It makes no sense. It's Lethal Weapon, Iron Man 3. It's Lethal Weapon 5. I mean, you go on. I don't. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have more
I can't
sympathy-
take it. I can't take it.
I have more sympathy than you do for the quality of the action scenes, which I think it has a couple of really good moments.
It does.
And like the sort of the whole like choreography, the hardware involved, it's all very cool. And it has a couple of decent ideas. But in terms of the plot, and like the plot does constitute like about the film. It's just complete nonsense. There's no motivation for the villain. Everything happens sheerly by coincidence, and the plot holes up the ass.
not
So
even. We're
don't
not even
go
with
and
the
see
Avengers
it
stuff.
for intellectual reasons. Yeah, I mean, I don't overly mind the whole sort of why don't they just call Captain America thing because the plot the whole reason why Tony Stark is even involved makes no sense. Like it doesn't make sense why it would be an Iron Man film. The idea for the plot would have worked for a Captain America film because it's a like Captain America sort of problem to deal with. And Tony Stark being involved is just like pure coincidence, doesn't make any sense. And why isn't Captain America doing something about it when like this villain is like sort of threatening the president?
For the
So,
stupidest reason ever. Oh, there's a Mandarin twist as well, Aaron, which we're not going to ruin for you.
Fair enough. I got
Yeah.
one question actually, just based on you guys. Do you think it's a good addition to the the Marvel verse, the movie verse?
It doesn't add anything. If anything, I think it takes away because tonally, I don't know like the guy who wrote it wrote Lethal Weapon, and I guess he likes like comedy actions, which is fine, but he sets up loads of stuff sort of that he seems to be thinking is going to, well, aside from all the plot reasons, the fact it's quite boring at times, he just sets up loads of like things. Like there's a sort of Iron Man's having like Tony Stark's having like panic attacks from like the New York incident and things like this, and then just completely like he'll make them like serious. You think, oh, I've got to take this seriously, and then he'll start making them funny, which I guess is fine for an Iron Man movie, but I felt like the film was, I like the first Iron Man because it was like Tony Stark was the funny one, If you see what I mean. Like, he was the
Yeah,
one
yeah.
pointing out how ridiculous everything was, but in this one, it's sort of the film's funny, which I don't think worked. Like, it was like it
Well,
was sort of
I
a
think
bad.
there's a lot of good humorous dialogue, and
Yeah,
like
there is. Yeah.
he got the Tony Stark charisma just right. And like the whole sort of the way they introduced the whole post-traumatic stress thing with what happened in the Avengers, like before he starts having panic attacks, like it's kind of it raises it as an interesting theme, like an interesting development for the character. But the panic attacks are just like complete sort of non-ideas. Like he just suddenly in the middle of doing something, he'll have a panic attack for no reason.
It's a way to get him to leave the scene quite easily.
Yeah, it was
A lot of
just
the time.
pointless like device, like just a way of changing the audience's focus or changing the topic of conversation because the writers couldn't think what to do.
The bit that lost me was when he hung out with a kid for 20 plus minutes.
I thought that bit was okay.
I didn't give a shit.
Another thing
Yeah.
I'd like to say about it is that I like obviously the ending is a bit sort of misleading and slightly duplicitous, but I really like the idea no, I really like the ending in principle.
Yeah,
I'm not spoiling it, but I think they thought of a good way to end it, and it was a surprise because you don't expect that from a franchise like Iron Man / the Avengers.
but I think the problem was that the film had lost me so much before that I didn't care about the ending, which is a shame.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought tonally it was all over the place. I didn't even think there was enough action, and when the action did happen, it was kind of all right. Also, Tony Stark, I don't like. They were trying to do the whole. They tried to do a little. Oh, is Tony Stark the Iron Man, or is the Iron Man the man or the suit?
Oh,
They
yeah,
didn't really do anything with it. And you know what? Judging from what happened in that film, Tony Stark gets fucking blown up with missiles, drowned, and just hit with everything. And by the end, I was like, I don't know if Tony Stark's invincible or not. It makes it very hard to for me to see any sort of form of, oh god, is Tony Stark going to be all right when he is just getting thrown around the place and he's just fine all the time.
Well, to be fair, when he's wearing the Iron Man suit, he's impervious to injury.
That's fine because he's in the Iron Man suit. I'll accept that. I won't accept when remember his fucking house gets blown up and he gets thrown across the room.
Oh yeah,
And
well yeah, that
nothing
makes
happens.
no sense. But I mean, you just got to sort of accept that for some reason the first missile or the first volley of missiles missed him slightly and just propelled him across the room.
Exactly. I don't know. I just thought it was. It just seemed like the guy they'd chosen to direct and write it because he did the Lethal Weapon movies. I just thought it was the wrong movie for him to be doing. I don't think it works for the rest of the series. And I wasn't expecting that. Maybe that's what annoyed me. But it just came across as a stupid sort of throwaway sort of 90s buddy cop movie where both the cops don't have any charisma or personality. Like Don Cheadle's in this for a lot of it, as whoever the black guy is, and I forget the character's name, but yeah, it was shit. He's just nothing. Sorry, Aaron. You've been left out of this.
On the bright side, everything's really shiny, so
it is very.
No,
shiny.
I'm letting you talk. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know. I mean, I don't have anything to add. I mean, I think it's based around extremists. Like as far as I know,
yes.
by the sounds of it,
he's a terrorist, and then there's another guy who is related to him. He is the sort of segue that connects Tony Stark to the main plot, but it's a pure coincidence.
So is extremist not the main plot?
Extremist is the main
sort
plot.
Of. It's not. It's
because
hard to say.
I know Mandarin appears, because extremist has nothing to do with Mandarin. So
you'll see. There's a twist, which actually I actually enjoyed.
Well, I don't really want to see it now. In fact, if anything, I kind of want to watch Lethal Weapon 2. But
yeah, watch Lethal Weapon 2. Lethal Weapon 2 is a lot better than it because it holds
together.
Anyway,
we talked enough about Iron Man.
Yeah.
3. Very briefly, because we've used up all our Marvel time. Agents of Shield is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it hasn't been confirmed yet. But Joss Whedon and co. have said that. Based on whether Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. is made a thing or not, Agent Coulson will live or die.
Yeah. Gives a shit if Agent
much
Coulson dies.
To the avalanche of shits being given by everyone even though this kind of shit is exactly the reason why I personally can't stand Joss Whedon.
Well, again, Harvey, have you heard precisely why Coulson's death is ambiguous? Like how he survived, if he's going to survive?
No, I know that the Agent Shield is a sequel, isn't it? I thought
Well,
it was a prequel when they said he was
it's-
alive.
No, it's
but
in the
then,
same continuity, but no, yeah, Agent Coulson.
yeah, I know. I mean, it's a sequel, but it's continuation after his death. Like it's not a prequel, is it?
No, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, but
Yeah.
he's not dead. That's the thing. If
Yeah.
Shield,
I don't get how that works. It seems kind of
well,
Joss Whedon just can't let go.
If you let me explain.
Sorry, yeah, go on, sorry.
He's given an official reason as to why
Okay.
Coulson's not dead, and it's that he held his breath. It's
Oh.
literally that the reason the Avengers didn't know is that this was part of a plan between him and between Fury and the Shield agents to convince them that Coulson was dead, so they'd unite and save New York.
Did they like surely the death of their world is more of a drive than Coulson?
Well,
that's why I never got it.
But in the movie,
But
you have to
that
remember
was
that they
something
did
that
get...
didn't make sense in the movie.
It did,
so-
yeah. In the movie, it didn't make sense why Coulson united them, but now that's apparently a legitimate plot point if this thing gets made. But yeah, so it's literally that the captain walked over to Coulson, or whoever it was, that like looked over, like, yep, dead, and no, Coulson was just acting.
Yeah, Coulson
just
wasn't
like,
like,
yep.
oh my god, help me.
That's the other thing, because that doesn't explain how Coulson was... Because Coulson was stabbed. This is the thing. Like it doesn't, like, I mean, unless he was acting severe... Unless, he was pretending to be dead, but was severely injured, in which case, bravo. Good performance. Coulson's the real hero of the Avengers.
Yeah, this doesn't hold together. I mean,
But
to be
yeah,
honest,
so
like the
that's-
whole Coulson uniting them thing was something that I'd kind of forgotten about. So the fact that I don't think you don't wipe off shit by rubbing yourself down with shit.
Well,
I think
like
they
I
should
was
leave the
saying
Coulson
to-
thing.
like I was saying to Simon before we start recording, and I think this is a very nice kind of, possibly a hint of what's to come in terms of having to make a continuity work. Because then you need to do things like this. If you put everything in the same continuity, then you have to invent bullshit reasons. It's like if they were playing it slightly more by ear, then we'd have a movie based around why Edward Norton isn't in it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Things like that. Like would
Exactly.
be kind of funny.
Mark Gruffalo drank the juice that had his blood in it, and he was all better. No,
Exactly.
he turned into a hog.
So this might be one of the things that kind of might be a reoccurring theme if movies are gonna play by comic book rules.
Exactly. But I mean, I'm quite interested in the multimedia idea. I think that's cool that they do that.
Yeah, I like the idea of it being on television as well. It's,
But yeah, but aside from that,
so it will mean that we get like within like 12 episodes there'll be more hours of Agents of Shield than there are focusing on the heroes.
True, which is strange. And I assume the heroes will turn up very briefly.
Yeah, but I mean, it'll be fun to watch. I'll watch Agent of Shield probably.
But at
Nothing else would be interesting.
some point, I know Robert Downey Jr. is probably going to leave the Iron Man series, and they've said we will continue doing Iron Man without him. So that's going to be a bit weird. Sort of the whole thing, sort of, it's going to get a bit messy after a while.
Well, yeah, I mean, if nothing else, then they're all going to get old. So that's
Exactly.
the one nice thing about comic books. They don't seem to age for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, do you I assume you just want Agents of Shield made for the fact that it's just more
I
stuff.
think it's breaching new ground. No, I don't. Not even more. I don't approve of stuff for stuff's sake, but I think the idea of having a television series linked with a series of movies is pretty cool.
No,
I mean,
fair.
that's what I wanted to happen with the Wonder Woman TV series. I think if they'd made that and then Wonder Woman from the TV series had appeared in the Justice League movies, then that would have been pretty interesting.
Yeah,
But
I mean, also
that didn't work.
would it be a good place to? It also might be like if they could do it, it might be like like with Hawkeye and stuff. You wouldn't have to do a Hawkeye movie. You could have Hawkeye just. I mean, I don't think I forget what the guy's name is.
Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to probably be paid enough to appear in the TV show.
No, that's
But
the thing.
that would
I
be
don't
the,
ever want to see Hawkeye again.
but that would be the place to do a Hawkeye style thing. That's where you could use him more. Obviously, this
Yeah.
involves your audience being really fucking in touch with what's going on, which, to be honest, a lot of the time you don't get because people just see posters and go because they're like, oh bloody hell, Robert Downey Jr.'s in it.
True. Well, yeah. I mean, this is the issue because I don't know how much either Agent of Shield, because the Agent of Shield world can't really like reference the Avengers that much, I guess.
True.
Then again, given the amount that Avengers grossed, maybe they can assume that everyone and their mother saw the Avengers at this point.
I think that they should just tie it in with the Nolan universe and get it
We're
done.
all big together.
Exactly.
Well, Stan Lee's been doing quite a lot of that recently. I was watching like Stan Lee, because he still animates on YouTube, and
Okay.
he's been doing some Batman and Wolverine stuff, which is pretty funny. But so maybe Stan Lee's the only hope we have for doing all this. Was Stan Lee in the Avengers? Yeah, he was at the very end, wasn't he?
Yes,
appears
he
in all,
was.
doesn't he?
Yes,
Yeah,
he was.
he
He was in Iron
Yeah,
Man
he's a-
3 as well.
What's his role?
I forget actually. I turned away and then turned back, and the person sitting next to me said, "Oh, there was Stan Lee." So I've apparently he was in that moment. The only moment I
Why
turned
did you
away.
turn away?
I checked
What
my
were you-
I checked my fucking clock because I was bored.
Oh. And there's a good note to leave Iron Man.
Exactly.
Check. So, exciting news.
Yeah.
Clerks everywhere. Clerks 3 is apparently happening now. He's writing the script. Kevin Smith, and him and Miramax are gonna make another animated series, which I think's pretty cool because I think I like the animated series more than you do by a fair margin. I think it was tragically cancelled.
I like the animated series. I thought it was fine. I mean, I don't know. There's something about I don't like Kevin Smith anymore.
Why not?
He seems incredibly fucking whiny all the time. Like,
Well, all
and
he does is make podcasts.
he
complain.
makes
That's all
podcasts.
That's all we do. Yeah, you can't really hate him.
Well, he makes podcasts. He complains. Just gets high all the time. Seemingly, he just complains that he gets angry at critics for not liking his movies. Which, to be honest, get a fucking grip. And to be honest, his movies have seen a massive decline in quality since Clerks
Cop
1.
Out has had a massive decline. I don't know. I mean,
No,
are you
Zack
saying
and Miri
everything
make a
after
porno.
Clerks? Are you saying everything after Clerks 1 was worse?
Well, Mallrats was definitely, but that's like just the difficult second album. That's fine, as expected. Chasing Amy, which I still think is just okay. People seem to fucking love it. I don't know why.
I think it's pretty good. I mean,
And then
I
there's
mean, and so I think Dogma's pretty good as well.
see Dogma. I think like as a sort of comedy is funny. I don't. People give it a little bit more credit for its like criticism of religion than it should get. I think.
I think it's just a comedy to criticize religion.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, but no. And then there was Clerks 2.
There was Clerks 2, which actually I also did like. And there was Zack and Miri Make a Porno, which was bad.
I haven't seen that
And
actually.
then there was Red State, which was bad.
Yeah, we can't. Red State and Cop Out were also bad, but they weren't kind of Kevin Smith films, not really.
Well, he didn't write Cop Out. He directed it, but he did write Red State.
Did he? Oh.
Yeah, he wrote.
That's
he wrote
disappointing.
that. But it's. I guess I'm just annoyed at the way he sort of talks about like bad criticism and stuff, and it just seems very babyish.
Yeah. Well, I haven't heard any of this stuff actually, but fair. I mean, if he does, I mean, if he's getting angry at people criticizing Cop Out, then maybe. But
exactly. I mean, yeah, but I mean, him making a Clerks 3. I don't know. I'm not that invested in Clerks. Like, I liked the first film. I thought it was a nice independent film, and I'm glad he did well off it. But I don't see Kevin Smith as like this sort of. I don't see Clerks as like this. Oh my god, it's an amazing film, and it needs more sequels.
I don't think it needs more sequels. I mean, I'm more excited about the animated series. Like, I think even if it wasn't called Clerks, I think the animated series would have probably been quality. I think.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'm more excited about that than I am Clerks 3.
The animated series is a good cartoon. I agree.
And also, I can't believe I'm gonna have to say this. Jay and Silent Bob's super groovy cartoon movie is also been released. I think it was the beginning of this month, and is doing the rounds. And I think will be in the UK soon. Which is our two hapless heroes, who I didn't realize until a few days ago when I rewatched Scream 3, are in Scream 3. Like, how did I miss that?
Are they?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, they just walk by a bit, and he asks the woman to bang him or something. And
Then again,
walking.
I still don't think that Jay and Silent Bob were even like they were funny for a few movies, and now it is. I don't think like Jay's as sharp as he was, and I don't think Silent Bob just being silent and then dishing out some
wisdom.
I guess maybe I'm just not as invested. Like
yeah, well, it's been a while. I mean, I understand. I think it's. But equally, I think Jay and Silent Bob are funny within themselves just because they are a pair of like wandering bums, well, not bums, drug dealers. So you can indict them to appear in anything, and it will still be kind of funny because they've got nowhere else to be, have they? So they might as well be in like Green Arrow or Scream 3.
Sure.
And I think
Jane's,
that's why they're funny. Why they're in Dogma as well. You know, they're on the way to find like the place John Hughes made all his films. Like that's funny.
yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe I don't think I'm that big of a fan of Kevin Smith anymore, and I've stopped liking him, which is a silly reason to stop watching someone's
Yeah,
films.
that's a bit
But
petty, but fair enough.
I think I don't like his because I'm not even sure of what of his motivations for making Clerks 3 are. Is it just that he's out of shit?
No, he's got the rights back finally because there was that whole Miramax breakup with Harvey Weinstein, etc. They've just got it back from Disney. That's why there's been no more Clerks animated series. He would have done it beforehand.
Oh, okay.
It's all just convenient timing.
I kind of wish he would have done it earlier because he was better earlier.
He couldn't.
I think he's definitely going down.
He couldn't have got the rights earlier, which is the annoying thing. I mean, that's the reason why. Because I didn't realize until I was doing the research this for the article I'm writing, but Clerks the animated series, only 2 episodes of it were ever shown.
Really?
Like, yeah, only episode 2 and then 4 were shown because ABC were such assholes about it. Like, yeah.
Is he distributing it over the internet? Because that seems like the place to do it.
Well, it was eventually re-released in 2003.
Yeah.
Like on DVD, but yeah, I think the rest of it, like I think he lets it all stay up on YouTube because it's all there.
Okay, maybe I'll finish it. I haven't watched all of it.
You know, I still think it's the finest 6 episode series ever. I know if you look at it, considering it was made in 2001, I think it's pretty. It's even got some Seth MacFarlane jabs in there. What more do you want?
That's quite good.
Yeah,
I'll accept that. Well, then again, that's when Seth MacFarlane was good.
Was it? Was 2000? Was he still good in 2000? Was he good in 2000?
Yeah, like he just made a couple of seasons of Family Guy.
Yeah,
it was funny.
the first season. I don't like the first seasons of Family Guy.
Then again, I like Seth MacFarlane because he is very critical of his work. Like he definitely says that Family Guy should have ended before. So regardless of his motivations now for keeping it going, because the reason I don't like Matt Groening is that Matt Groening never came out and said, "This is shit." which either means that
how dare he?
Which either means that he's lying and he's not being honest, which I don't like. I like that Seth MacFarlane's honest but keeps it going because people seem to keep buying it. Or else Matt Groening thinks it's still good, which makes me think that Matt Groening has lost his way somewhere because there is no way that you could ever think it's as good as it was pre-season 10.
Very true. Though maybe he can't see the woods from the trees or whatever.
Maybe maybe he just loves it so much.
Yeah, true. Though, did you see Futurama got cancelled actually again?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, it's lost its gravitas saying it for a 3rd time or a 2nd time or whatever it is.
Exactly. Sort of like Agent Coulson. If they try and kill him again, I'm not going to care. I didn't care much the first time.
Well, think about it. If he's going to be in like 26, 24 episodes, he's going to try to almost die a lot. We're not going to give a shit by the end of it.
And oh shit, and The Simpsons are getting cancelled as well.
Is it?
Well, yeah, because I think there's a dispute as to over the amount that the people are getting paid, the cast.
Again? Oh, good.
Yeah, and it's happening again. And for some reason, I don't know the numbers, but they say that like The Simpsons isn't financially viable anymore. I don't believe that.
No, not for a second.
I imagine it makes a fuck ton of money still, and if anything, they're kind of getting a bit ripped off for the amount that they actually make.
Yeah, because they've taken like 2 pay cuts already. Like they've been through this whole dance before.
Exactly. And although they are making 450 grand an episode, which is a lot of money, like in the amount it makes, in the scale they're making, I mean, in some ways, yes, they might be getting ripped off, but it's like sort of Western ripped off, where it doesn't really matter anymore.
Yeah, because everyone's making such large sums of money, then it's fine.
Well, The Simpsons is getting cancelled, or might be, if they don't take a pay cut, which I don't think they're going to do. So, I don't know what Matt Groening's going to do now, except for sit on his fucking pile of money.
Well, I was reading an interview with David X. Cohen, or S. Cohen, depending on whether he's in The Simpsons or Futurama. He thinks that it will be taken up again by someone, but I'm not sure if that's just like bravado at this point. It's like, bring it, we'll get cancelled again. But it's weird. I thought Comedy Central would keep it going. I mean, maybe the kind of Groening verse isn't as profitable as we thought it was.
Yeah, because we always just remember it being profitable. Is it? Maybe no one watches The Simpsons.
Maybe
that.
I know. I every so often I think maybe like 1 out of every 4 new Simpsons episodes I watch.
Oh, you sick fuck.
Yeah. Well, I just it's like I'm assuming it's like what a marriage feels like after 50 years.
Exactly. Like every now and then you sort of
too scared to leave.
Exactly.
What else
and
am I
maybe
gonna
you'll
do?
like have sex again, and you'll be like, oh, I guess it's all right.
Exactly.
And then you just don't leave them.
But not like Clerks, the animated series, which because it only lasted for 6 episodes, I pine for constantly, like the lover I never had one summer.
No.
What a beautiful metaphor.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
the
the
Wii
horrible
U.
thing is, you
Oh,
might run into them again and figure out that they were actually quite shit.
well, I'll wait till Kevin Smith gives
'Cause
me that chance.
my dad used to have a girlfriend who he said was very attractive, and he met her again recently and said she was ugly as a fucking pig.
You
to
sure
put-
that's not just 30 years?
That
taking its
is
toll?
30 years. It's time. Time.
Are you
has
sure
taken
that
its toll.
wasn't your mum, lol?
Wait. Yeah, she's not that good looking.
I think I can
Anyway.
do another good segue. On from Family Feuds to Family Binding, the Wii U.
Oh shit.
That was pretty
So
good.
this is really your pet article, Billy.
This is my
Yeah,
pet.
this is the one thing on the list you know what is, so
Really?
get going.
I need to take a piss.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, we can
Right.
edit this. They don't
Okay.
need to know that, yeah.
I'm gonna cut it here from me taking a piss. Bye.
He best cut this.
Also, saying bye is kind of redundant.
Yeah, because they're never gonna hear this, or maybe they will. If you're hearing this, Harvey is a douche.
Anyway,
was-
back
this
to
was-
fingering each other's assholes.
The one with the black family.
Hello.
Hello. All right, so we're gonna start now.
Okay, so yeah, so the Wii U thing. It's the Wii U's new advertising campaign, which I've shown you both, I think.
Yep. Well, I watched it earlier, but Simon
So-
just watched it now.
I did. Yeah.
Well, I
Okay.
saw one
So
when you showed it to me. Yeah.
really, I think this is this is like Nintendo always had, pretty shitty advertising campaigns. But this is terrible. I
Yeah.
mean, this if you go on the their YouTube channel, it's quite amazing how. I mean, this has so many dislikes, and they've even had to disable the comments because it is just I don't know who the Wii U it caters for now, because they've tried to be like, yeah, it's we want to get back to the sort of standard hardcore game, or we're going to increase our third-party support, and then their main sort of advertising campaign is basically just little kids of like 7 who turn up with their parents to the Nintendo headquarters and just play the game with their dad. And like one of the fathers seems to be like this sort of widower who goes with his
Yeah,
son.
I
and
got
he
this.
says,
Like, he
I'm
says, "Oh,
enjoying it because we're playing it together.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
well,
together.
who gives
That
a
was
shit?
it.
Like, if you have regrets about the way you and your child have not connected after the death of your wife. That's not going to improve my gaming experience. Because the kid says, it's the best console ever. No, it's not. There's no way it's the best console ever, because you don't know anything because you're a small child.
Well, this is one of the impressions I got from looking at it, because I didn't realize kind of how terrible they'd be. But like looking at it, this is clearly emotional bribery.
Mm.
Like both of them are literally like, "Oh, your family's falling apart. Play the Wii U."
Basically, yeah. And I was fine. I was fine when, Picard and Helen Mirren were playing, fucking brain training on a plane because they just happened to meet. It's like, oh, hello, Helen Mirren. What's your IQ? And then she makes a joke about being old and like they've got Alzheimer's. I can't really remember the advert,
Yeah,
but I
that's
think
the
that's the
joke.
tone they went for when it was more adult advertising. But yeah, I mean, I don't know really what Nintendo wants anymore, and I don't get Nintendo's new advertising campaign, and I think Nintendo is going horribly downhill from the Wii, which is hard. Don't you think?
Well, the key word in all the adverts is it's new, it's
Yeah.
brand new, because people don't realise that the Wii is new.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
I mean, the Wii U even.
That's the and the other thing is they call it an upgrade, which I swear it isn't. I swear it's a whole new console.
Yeah, no, they keep saying upgrade. Like there's this family who goes, "We got to upgrade."
Yeah. And this is the thing. It's like, oh, we have a Wii, but they came over with this Wii U, and it's like, oh, like it's definitely like this thing exists. Please buy it.
Because you know what? It would have been strange because they don't know what the Wii U is, which means they've randomly got a call. How did they discern? Like, because how did they know that these people didn't know what the Wii U was? before they asked them. It seems I don't know how. Firstly, I think these adverts are forged because I don't know how this meeting came about.
No, and surely they were told on the way over, if nothing else, like, oh,
Yeah.
you're going to be playing the Wii U. Oh,
Exactly.
that's their hostages.
Yeah, it's
That
just
authentic feel.
it's
Yeah,
odd.
I think they like it's sort of Nintendo's like all-inclusive philosophy biting itself on the ass there, because like they've marketed all their shit to people who don't know the difference between a Wii and a Wii U. They don't realize that sometimes different pieces of technology only have slight differences in their names. And like these are also people who like don't go into game shops, and so they don't know that there's a new console out, and they don't know that it's different and has different games. If
What
they
I
even play their Wii anymore.
which no one does.
No, I mean, everyone
and
just got Wii and Wii Sports or whatever, and then just left it.
the other thing I find confusing is they've made the same mistake in that they don't show the console again. They show people with the big pad. And it never shows them looking at a TV, I don't think. It just shows them all with a big pad. So I still think, looking at that, someone said it's different. I'm like, well, yeah, it looks kind of different. It looks like an iPad type thing. Is that all it is? I haven't been explained it's a new console. And also, like, you see the little kids. Yeah, go on.
There's 1 2-second shot of a TV in the
Sweet.
Varna's V1, but that's it.
That's amazing.
Actually, and weirdly enough, like, there's 4 of them playing, but in the screen there's only 3 screens, and one of them is just the kid's face. So there must be a camera.
Jesus. And also the thing about the and also it's just I don't want to have stuff sold to me by children who yell out random stuff like it's the best console ever. And also one of them I think just basically says the equivalent of, you know, all that Wii shit that you bought, like the Wii board. Yeah, it's compatible with this one. Because we're so innovative, we're going to bring across all the shit that we still have left over. Because that's innovation, man. Just recycling stuff. Jesus Christ, in 1080p.
It's sad as well, because that was probably Nintendo's 500th video, and it probably wasn't deserving.
Exactly. But, yeah.
It's just lazy marketing, and it's bad marketing as well. Like, at least if you're gonna like take the cheap route, like where you just literally tell people what they're supposed to think, then you could do it well.
Yeah, and the way they've used every like little family archetype as well.
Yeah.
Although no single mom with the.
Sure, which is sad, because that's definitely the market they need to go on. You should do the last one.
Just me and my mom. Just saying, it's all right.
We're spending time together.
Exactly. My mom's saying, "What's a Wii?"
Then you're just explaining.
Exactly. But
not playing it. Just you two sat in a room explaining it.
Exactly. And she'll be like, "Yeah, it's nice that we're playing together." And I was like, "Oh yeah, where were you doing that several years ago, huh? Huh? You think this is good enough?" But just going into an argument, it would be horrible. No one would buy that console. God.
Unless you put a Zelda and a Pokemon game on it, then everyone will buy that console.
But okay, so yes, that's the week.
That's the week. All the important stuff of the week.
Exactly.
No segments.
Do we have any questions? Oh, articles. Articles. Yeah.
Do we have any questions?
I don't think so, actually. I don't think we've got any questions this week.
No, fuck it then.
No, we don't have any questions, and
probably because we didn't release the podcast for people to put their questions on.
True.
Sure.
Oh well.
We'll resurrect that this week.
Exactly.
Have you put an article up for this week's podcast?
Yes, I have.
Excellent.
But I don't believe there are any questions on it. Hang on, I'll just check. But we can dump this in. If there is one question, we'll just edit this in. No comments.
Okay.
Sweet.
Good work, Anonymous. I know you're right there. Right. So the articles we didn't write this week. Mine is basically I could have reviewed Iron Man, but I had revision, so I'm valuing my future.
Don't worry,
instead of writing articles.
I'm going to review Iron Man.
Okay.
Ooh.
And Aaron, what have you done?
Well, I've got a Clerks article about halfway done, so I guess this article I'm halfway writing, but I've been revising, and I'm also I've also got gonna do my first 10 hours of playing Pokemon Black and White. Though considering I'm now on hour 70, that might seem a little outdated.
My God, you have played a lot of Pokemon.
I've played too much Pokemon.
In
Well,
some,
there is a piece of topical Pokemon news. There's a Deoxys Wi-Fi event coming up.
Woo! Which Aaron might have to spend like 30 quid on, which isn't fair.
Yeah, it's only on Black and White too. I've
Yeah.
heard.
It's not fair for us who only just started playing Black and White.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Pokemon!
Well,
gotta
some-
catch 'em! Gotta catch 'em all.
Gotta catch some of them.
I've caught nearly 300.
Well done, Aaron. In summary, nothing has happened this week.
No, it's a slow week. So I'm
Exactly.
sure something's happened news-wise, but we're not going to cover that.
So, well, let's. Someone died. Oh,
My jazz singer died. Is that who you mean?
no, I mean, someone died during a hen night. I'm not gonna put this in.
Yeah. Why is that news?
Because it's sad. Because they're gonna have to rethrow the party and it's gonna be awkward. But...
Yeah, that would be a downer on the whole wedding.
Exactly. I mean, I think you've got to like have it as a memorial party and not an actual hen night. I think
That's
that's a
it.
bit
She was
much.
always stealing attention from me. How
Exactly.
dare she die on my hen party?
Maybe she did it on purpose.
Definitely.
Well, all right. So that's the week.
Yeah.
Hope
When
we
is-
had lots of sexism, we had lots of sex, and we had some more complaining about the Wii and Nintendo. And J.J. Abrams turned up again. Good.
Yeah, it was largely sex and J.J. Abrams.
It was
Yeah.
sexy
J.J.
J.J.
Abrams
Abrams.
is on a like 4 times combo for appearing in our podcasts now, right?
I don't think he's ever going to stop. I
No,
think
he'll never stop offending.
he's
Keep up the good work, JJ.
Yeah,
Keep it up.
he's doing Star Trek then Star Wars, so
Oh,
we're going to
man.
be talking about him till at least 2018.
Maybe he'll get every big franchise.
Yeah, you wait.
And we
Like
can-
we'll wake up, Nolan will be dead. He'll be like, "Hey, I'm doing the Justice League," and then bang, Joss Whedon like hanging from a window, and like, "Oh, hey, Avengers."
Exactly, and it will get really depressing. Like he'll be like, he'll sort of turn into what was the artist's name in BioShock, the first one.
Oh shit.
The plastic surgeon. Oh, he'll turn into Cohen, and he'll be like, "I've got to make it sexier. I've got to make art sexier." And like by the end, it will just be like the Avengers 4. Will just be like fucking Thor, just fucking Captain America in the ass with that handle end of his hammer, and just J.J. Abrams just slightly out of shot, just masturbating in the corner. Fucking hell.
And that is our prediction. Until next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.